Physical disabilities cover such a broad range of conditions. There's absolutely no way I can orient you to any of this stuff in 15 minutes. Leslie, Harvey, and I each have a physical disability. I'm sure one of us can become spot pretty quickly, but Leslie and I are not quite as obvious. Now, if Leslie and I go for a walk together, you're going to figure out pretty quickly that one of her legs isn't really working the way the other one is. My disability, on the other hand, is very hidden. So there's absolutely no way to orient anybody to all of what possibly all cover physical disability in 15 minutes. So when we're looking at the decon issue, most of the issue you're going to face with physical disabilities has to do with equipment. That's my specialty. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about equipment. If you see somebody walking with a cane, there's usually one of two reasons. Either they have balance issues and they need cane support, or they have fatigue issues, and the cane is kind of providing a little bit of relief for them. This kind of cane is usually used by people who don't necessarily use it all the time. This kind of cane with the 4 prongs is used by somebody with pretty serious balance issues. You take this away, they may be okay. Take this one away, they're going to fall. So if you need to take this cane away from them, make sure you substitute something else that they can walk with. Then we move to walkers. That's what's up on the PowerPoint. Now there's 3 different kinds of walkers measured up here that I have up front. One is the standard walker that your grandmother had. And in order to use that walker, you need to pick it up and move it. Now most of us think that that's kind of an inefficient way to use a walker, but for somebody who has a tendency to drift off to one side or maybe some serious balance issues, this kind of walker can keep them more stable. The next one over has wheels on it and skis. It's a little easier to push, but it's a little less supportive of a person. So it's a little easier for folks to go off course with that. These 2 walkers are used by people who have one-sided weakness, maybe somebody who's had a stroke or a brain injury. You tend to see this a lot, so it supports the weaker side. You take one of these things away in a decon operation, you have to provide a human arm or some other form of assistance to help the person move around. The last type of walker I have here is called a rollator. Rollators are used by people who are pretty ambulatory but usually have some balance issues. Rollators have 4 wheels. There's an awful lot of maneuverability available with these devices. The advantages of rollators are most of them have a seat on them so that the user can sit. This is really good. These are all used by people with respiratory and heart conditions to give them an opportunity to rest. Next is manual wheelchairs, and that's what I have here. And Harvey also uses a manual wheelchair. Harvey's wheelchair is what's called a rigid frame, and that means that the chair does not fold up. In order to get Harvey's chair into a vehicle, he pops the wheels off, and the chair comes apart that way. This is what's called a folding frame chair. And in order to fold up this chair, you simply pull up on the seat. Now you saw when I disassembled this chair, I took off the cushion. Most people who use wheelchairs full time, or even a lot of the time, will use a cushion. The cushion prevents sores on their behind. The cushion absorbs contaminants and will probably need to be tossed. When transferring people into and out of wheelchairs, be aware that some people cannot feel. They don't know if they're seated properly. Sometimes people have very fragile skin, as the lady before me mentioned. Sometimes lifting a person will trigger spasms. Harvey, do you have any words of wisdom in this area?
Usually with a person who keep transferring them out of a wheelchair, usually it takes 2 people. And one person grabs the other person comes behind. right there on the line, you take both hands, you grab a hold to his arm, hold him over this way. So in that case, if a person doesn't have good mobility from left to right, you transfer over, they won't fall out your hand. Most of the time, my legs have muscle spasms. Usually just wait a while, like a couple of seconds.
So don't fight the muscle spasm.
Probably the most important thing that you're probably hearing from him, as well as you'll know from other people, anybody who's using these devices or any of these disabilities up here, the best way to find out what someone needs and how to best provide that support service is to ask them, because they will know what they need. Harvey will know to tell you how to best transfer him, so will anybody else that's using a chair. So ask the person first.
The other thing to be aware of is a lot of times when people have equipment that has some type of electronics in it, in a decon situation, you're going to destroy it in the process of decontaminating. And Leslie's leg is a perfect example. It is not ever meant to get wet.
So if I have to separate from my leg, leave my leg one place, I'm going to need something to get myself through there, and I'm going to be really upset if my $60,000 leg gets ruined. So and that would be really for everyone's equipment, is weighing whether or not this equipment has to be specially cleaned, or if we're going to just do it with everything else.
This is an electronic communication device. And again, if you have to decontaminate something like this, you have just taken the person's voice. Because once this thing gets wet, it's gone. So very carefully whether the device needs to be decontaminated. If it does, please do it. But just be aware that you have now taken the person's voice, maybe their mobility, something. If it's an electronic device, reimbursement is going to take forever, and this person is going to be not happy at losing their voice, their leg, their wheelchair, whatever. And so you're going to have to also deal with that issue of just helping them get through that separation, that this is really for your own good, we're really sorry, but we have to do this.